Dear listeners, this is Kai Smalesh from New York reporting on September 14th, 2013. Today, it's 1 year after the attack on the American school and the embassy in Tunisia. It's 1 year exactly that it happened on September 14th, 2012. And today I'm not going to add that much on what it has been said about the attack on Benghazi, Libya, on September 11, 2012, and that caused the death of four U.S. Individuals, including the ambassador Christopher Stevens, and three others, as you know. Today, I'm not going to add on what is being said about the first false flag that happened in the embassy in Benghazi, and what has been said by the Senator Ron Paul and Christopher Greens, Alex Jones, David Knight, Anthony Gucciardi, and others. I'm not going to add much on that. All I'm going to do and add today is about what happened 3 days after that attack in Benghazi in Tunisia. What happened is the attack on the American school and the American embassy in Tunisia. So if that first one was a false flag, I can guarantee you guys that the second one was also a cover-up false flag to cover up the first one. And what happened is I can guarantee you that the Tunisian government, including the president Monsef Marzouki, the minister of interior at that time Ali Al-Arayid, and right now is the prime minister. Also at that time Rafiq Abdeslam, which was the foreign minister, and Rashid Al-Ghannouchi, the head of the political party Al-Nahda, that on the 80s and the 90s with the war in Iraq has been asking terrorists to attack the American embassies, and there are videos that's still online. You can find them, and he's been saying that. Also, there is the involvement of Hadi Ben Abbas, which is the advisor of the president of Tunisia. Those people, they know about the false flag. Those people, they had asked the protesters to go into the embassy and to the American school. And I'm a Tunisian, but I left Tunisia a long time ago, but I have a house like a mile away from the embassy and the American school. And I can guarantee you and assure you guys that nobody can reach the walls from the outside and the inside of the embassy. So allowing those protesters to reach those walls, there is a hand behind that, and there is somebody and some parties that they allow them to reach the walls. All I'm asking is to investigate on that issue as well, and to link both attacks on the Benghazi embassy and Tunisia embassy and the American school all together, because both of them are false flags. And I want you, Alex Jones, and the team and its team and your team to investigate on what happened exactly on September 14, 2012. It is 1 year after the attack, and it's the first time that I uncover all these issues, this story, and it needs your attention, guys. We all know that the film that was broadcast about the Muslims has nothing to do with these attacks, and it was a false flag for sure. Thank you, and God bless America.
Well, Benghazi is not just a case of what did they know and when did they know it. No, it's a case actually of criminal actions and criminal cover-up. In a commentary that got very little notice, we had a Congresswoman, Ann Wagner from Missouri, had this to say to Ann Lesh.
And last quick question I have for you, Congresswoman, because you have been an ambassador, you have been overseas in similar with similar responsibilities and similar missions. Who gives such an order to stand down? Where does that come from?
The President of the United States.
Now, this has a lot of credibility because Congresswoman Wagner has also been an ambassador. She understands what the chain of command is, and she is a current Congresswoman. Now, Greg Hicks, in his whistleblower testimony, revealed that after Stevenson being killed, but while the attack was still ongoing, the Libyan military agreed to fly their C-130 to Benghazi and carry additional personnel to Benghazi as reinforcements, including U.S. Special Forces, but that a call came through from Special Ops Command Africa saying, you can't go now, you don't have authority to go now, and they were told not to board the flight, so they missed it, said Hicks. David Letterman, Top 10 Revelations, and this is from an article from Town Hall by Guy Benson. He came up with some items. So here are the top 10 revelations about the Benghazi false flags. Number 1, security provided by lightly armed Libya militia. That's right. Nordstrom, who was a U.S. security chief in Libya, said that they were complicit even in the attack. Number 9, requests denied for increased security. It was actually operating below minimum security, and only the Secretary of State, that would be Hillary Clinton, had the authority to grant exemptions for minimum security requirements. Number 8, State Department said austerity was not a factor in poor security, in spite of Democrat talking points. Number 7, Stevens was sent to vulnerable Benghazi at the behest of Clinton. Number 6, U.S. forces in Tripoli were told twice they did not have the authority to deploy to Benghazi during the attack. Now, whistleblower Mark Thompson, who's a career counterterrorism official at the State Department, said that he called the White House to request the immediate deployment of a foreign emergency support team to Benghazi and told that it was not the right time to do so, quote unquote. And then he was cut out of the communication loop. Number 5, the U.S. government did not seek permission from Libyan government to fly into the airspace. As Greg Hicks said in his whistleblower testimony, Libyan military agreed to fly their C-130 and carry personnel, but SOCOM Africa said, stand down. Number 4, Greg Hicks was gagged by Clinton. He was instructed not to speak with congressional investigators by Secretary Hillary Clinton's Chief of Staff, Cheryl Mills. Hicks said he had never faced a similar demand at any point during his distinguished 22-year diplomatic career, and when he refused to comply with this request, the State Department dispatched an attorney to act as a, quote, minder, who insisted on sitting in of all of his discussions with Congress. Number 3, Hicks was demoted after pushing back. After being lavishly praised by the President and the Secretary of State for his performance under fire, Assistant Secretary of State Beth Jones instantly reversed course and launched into a, quote, blistering critique, unquote, of Hicks' leadership. Number 2, Sam Basile. Yeah, this is the producer of the film that Clinton and Rice insisted was the problem.
I was dealing with protests against our facilities that were clearly connected to that video.
Right.
There is an angry mob in the street.
This began as was a spontaneous, not a premeditated response to what had transpired in Cairo.
I know, I have heard about it.
And in reaction to this very offensive video that was disseminated.
They could save thousands of lives and billions of dollars of taxpayers' money.
That the only people that I know who are in jail right now is the filmmaker.
That's right. Sam Basile. Sounds like imbecile, doesn't it? Maybe he was their intended stooge. He actually produced this film called The Innocence of Muslims, which Hillary Clinton and Susan Rice continued to insist for several days. Even the mainstream media called them on the absurdity of this. They continued to state that this was just a Muslim street reaction to this film. Now, possibly this film was intended to inflame the street. But it was an offense not just to Muslims, but to anybody that watched it. Some of the worst filmmaking ever. Number 1 of the top 10 Benghazi false flag facts. What difference does it make?
What difference at this point does it make?
And for the latest developments on Benghazi, here's a special report from John Bound.
This is John Bound with an InfoWars Nightly News Alert. Damage control. That's what the Obama administration is dealing with right now. And before the whitewash media can just brush it all aside, let's do it for instance. For instance, you are an incumbent chief of police, and you've been running drugs with the local drug cartel, along with laundered money and weapons. So you come out with a video that blames the local drug cartel for all the crime in the area. Now, in order to keep this a very big secret, you've got to take out the only person that has any information, and that's your deputy. Now, your deputy is at home being surveilled by your surveillance drone. You call your drug cartel over to take him out. As he calls 911 and his family, and they all plead for help, you make the stand-down order. Now, the video shows that the drug cartel was responsible for all the crime in the area. And, of course, when the mainstream media comes and knocks on your door, you refer them to the video that caused the drug cartel to kill your deputy. Now, 9 times out of 10, this isn't going to work in the real world. But in the world of New World Order politics, it's just business as usual. 2 days after Susan Rice was awarded the 2013 Lewis E. Martin Great American Award, and 1 day after Hillary Clinton accepted the Public Service Award, the fallout from the Benghazi whistleblower hearings has already begun to motivate House Speaker John Boehner to apply weight on the Obama administration to release classified emails and talking points. Talking points that were revised 12 times, rewritten to the surprise of then CIA Director David Petraeus to exclude references to al-Qaeda and jihadists. One of the emails read during the hearing revealed that a top State Department head was well aware of Islamic terrorists being responsible for the attack.
Days before our ambassador went on national television is telling the ambassador to Libya, the group that conducted the attacks, Ansar al-Sharia, is affiliated with Islamic terrorists.
More emails allegedly forced lower-level State Department officials to remove terrorism from the narrative, instead focusing on the intent of the attacks to be carried out based on the film Innocence of the Muslims, a film now exposed as a Middle East tension time bomb funded by anti-Muslim neocons from the Washington Institute for Near East Policy and the MEF, the Middle East Forum, with connections to the ADL. A massive think tank effort was put into the production of this unwatchable excuse for a film.
Do not take any action until everything is over.
Its usefulness, or so they thought, would serve the Obama administration in allegedly brokering a full cover of the elimination of State Department assets in order to allow the CIA, al-Qaeda storehouses of missiles and weapons recovered from Gaddafi to pass under the radar.
First of all, let's be clear about what transpired here. What happened this week in Cairo, in Benghazi, was a direct result of a heinous and offensive video that was widely disseminated that the U.S. government had nothing to do with.
From the Business Insider, what's odd is that a Libyan ship, which reportedly weighed 400 tons and included SA-7s, docked in southern Turkey on September 6th, and its cargo ended up in the hands of Syrian rebels. The man who organized that shipment, Tripoli Military Council head Abdel Hakim Belhaj, worked directly with Stevens during the Libyan Revolution. Stevens' last meeting on September 11th was with Turkish Consul General Ali Said Akin, and the source told Fox News that Stevens was in Benghazi to negotiate a weapons transfer in an effort to get SA-7 missiles out of the hands of Libya-based extremists. As far as those responsible for the stand-down order, all roads are now leading right to the top, as was described by former Ambassador Ann Wagner. Stay with us as we offer more exclusive coverage on Benghazi that the whitewash media is too afraid to cover. John Bound, InfoWars Nightly News.
That's right. Who would believe that Clinton and Obama would hold back rescue efforts in an attack that they perhaps set up? Who would believe that Clinton and Obama conspired to lie and cover up these attacks? And who would believe that we have this kind of internecine warfare going on within the CIA? And who in the public would even care about Libya, right? Why would they even care that we're there? And who cares that they even put al-Qaeda in power in Libya? Maybe Hillary Clinton is right. Who cares? I don't know. I think our listeners do, and maybe you can wake some people up.